This is K. Devendra Reddy, Assistant Professor in Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. In this video, we are going to discuss about constructional features as well as the principle of operation of alternator. So before into the actual discussion of the synchronous generators, or we can also call it as a alternator, let us quick look into the classification of AC machines. So the AC machines basically divided into two categories. One is synchronous machines and other one is asynchronous machines. So the synchronous machines, in that we have synchronous generators as well as the synchronous motors. Whereas in the case of the asynchronous machines, which are comes into the part of the induction machines, in that we have polyphase induction machines we have, as well as the single phase induction machines we have. So the polyphase induction machines, we have induction generators as well as the induction motors. Whereas in the case of the single phase induction machines, we have single phase induction motors. And this is all about the general criteria, general classification of AC machines based on the working principle and based on the type of the construction. We classify them into broad two categories. Later, so the synchronous generators, the primary source of electrical energy, we know already. The alternators are the primary source for power generation, and the synchronous motors, and these motors are we already known about it is very well for power factor corrections. We can also call it as a synchronous condensers. So under no load or excitation case, synchronous motor can act like a power factor improvement device that is called a synchronous condenser. And the induction generator, we know already about it. Due to lack of separate field excitation, these machines are rarely used as a generators, because induction generator requires a separate source that is called the auxiliary source for the excitation, that is in the case of the induction generators. And the induction motors, this is a most widely used electric motors in both the domestic as well as the industrial applications, because it has several advantages compared to the synchronous motors, because these are the asynchronous machines which can be widely used according to their construction and principle of operation. The flexibility in the construction as well as the principle of operation we will widely used in the both the domestic as well as the industrial applications as well. So the types of synchronous machines based on their magnetic field we used, means the locating or position of the magnetic field. So according to the arrangement of the field and armature winding, we classify the synchronous machines according to the placement of armature winding as well as the field winding. We can classify them into two types. One is the case is a stationary armature and a rotating field. Another one is a stationary field and a rotating armature. There are two categories based on the position of the armature winding as well as the field winding. We classify them into two types, and it is also based on the rating of the machine. So for above 5 kVA rated machines, so obviously we choose for first option, that is stationary armature and a rotating field. For below 5 kVA ratings, we choose second option, that is stationary field winding and rotating armature type synchronous machines. So let us look into the discussion what actually the stationary armature and a rotating field. Stationary armature means the three phase, either star or delta connected armature winding is placed on the stator slots, and the rotor is placed on the rotating object called a rotor. And where the stator, that is armature winding, is stationary, it is a not movable object, and the rotor is a movable object which can produce a magnetic field, which is of rotating with respect to the speed of the prime mover. Where in the case of the other type, the stationary field winding and the rotating armature, the stationary field winding, that name itself indicates the field winding is locating on the stator part, that is a stator slots can hold a stationary winding, that is called a field winding, and the rotor will be having a rotating armature, that is called a rotating armature winding on the rotor periphery, which is very similar like your DC machines, where in the case of the DC machines, we choose the rotating armature type winding structure. And similarly, for below 5 kV rating, the stationary field winding and rotating armature type synchronous machines are generally preferred. So let us look into the advantage of the stationary armature winding over rotating field winding. So whereas in the case of the three-phase alternators, particularly whereas in the case of a three-phase alternators, the high voltage AC winding and its insulation not subjected to the centrifugal forces. For example, if it is maybe of 11 kV to 33 kV, so better insulation requirement is needed. In that case, better go with the stationary armature winding, because the size of the winding or weight of the winding is much high compared to the field winding, and this 11 kV and 33 kV or more than that generated energy or induced EMF will be flowing through the slip ring arrangements and the brush arrangement. It is very difficult. That is why we have to overcome those difficulties by shifting the armature winding from the rotating object to the stationary object called a stator. So in that case, we can directly tap three terminals from the armature, whether it is star or delta connected, whatever it may be. There are three output terminals we have from the stationary armature winding. So such a high voltages we can easily extract from the armature winding while it is a stationary. So while it is a moving part, it is very difficult, because there are a movable object with the slip rings and brush arrangements. We have to tap the energy from armature, which is of a movable part. In that case, such a amount of high voltages and currents which is flowing through the slip rings and brushes will cause us several problems, and several losses also will come into the picture across these slip rings and brush arrangements. And one more advantage, it is already we discussed, easier to collect a large currents from the stationary object instead of the movable object. And the rotating magnetic field makes overall construction is very simple rather than the stationary magnetic field. And the problem of sparkings at the slip rings will be effectively avoided. Means there is no problem of the sparkings at the slip rings, because the uh, excitation voltage which we supply to the alternator, which is of 200 or 220 250 volts, that is not much higher voltage compared to the generated induced EMF in the alternator, which is in terms of the kVs. And the ventilation arrangement for high voltage windings can be improved, because of it is a stationary object. And the low winding, that is of 110 volts to 220 volts, is DC excitation easily supplied through slip rings and brush arrangements for the rotor field winding. So these are the several advantages of a stationary armature and rotating magnetic field over the stationary magnetic field winding and a rotating armature. Because of the large scale generation will involved in the synchronous generators we already discussed, it is a primary source of the generation. So that is why most of the cases for high above 5 kV rated machines, we must choose the stationary armature type and the rotating magnetic field type synchronous generators over the other types. And some more advantages over in this stationary armature and rotating magnetic field: the noiseless running, the noise will effectively reduced, and air gap length is uniform, and better mechanical balance of the rotor will also be coming to the picture. This is about the types of the synchronous machines according to their position of the field and armature windings. And there are certain advantages of stationary armature winding over rotating armature winding type synchronous generator. Let us now quick look into the constructional features of synchronous generator. A synchronous machines, that name itself indicates, the synchronous machine that work like a generator is known as a synchronous generator. We cannot we can confine a synchronous machine means we can confine it as a generator, so we can call it as a synchronous generator, and also called as an alternator. The main function of the generator is to generate a commercial frequency current or a commercial frequency voltage. It is converting your mechanical energy into electrical energy at a commercial frequency and rated voltage as well. And that generated voltage will be supplied to the industries, domestic as well as the industrial agriculture needs. These generators generally used in a power industry, where the power can generate either in a thermal stations or in a hydel stations or in a nuclear or a diesel, whatever the type of the uh, industry it is, whatever the type of the power plant it is, the alternator is the basic element here. The alternator is the primary requirement for converting your mechanical energy into electrical energy. The supplied mechanical energy may be a different. It is depending upon your type of the power industry. That is a type of the power power production industry, like a thermal. In the case of the thermal, your turbine will be rotating with under the steam pressure, whereas in the case of the diesel, we will use diesel as a primary fuel input for rotating the alternator, that is rotating the prime mover, and that already mechanically coupled to the generator as well. So uh, whatever the kind of the power production industry it may be, the synchronous generators are coupled to the turbines or prime movers, where the mechanical energy is effectively converted into electrical energy. So this is all about the cross sectional view of a synchronous generator, and this is the outer periphery that represents the yoke of alternator, and these were the represents the stator terminals, that is the stator slots we have. And already we know about the slots. There are three types of the slots we generally have: open type slots, open type, semi open type, and closed type. Three types of the slots generally we have: open type, semi open type, as well as the closed type. And this is all about the stator, three phase stator winding, either star or delta connected. A three phase AC supply, that is a star or delta connected. RYB, it is connected to a load, and a rotor which is excited by a DC supply, that is a field winding. So in this case, armature, here the DC excitation, it is an auxiliary supply that is connected to the field winding of generator to produce magnetic field, that is a constant magnetic field which is on the rotor periphery. When it is moving, it will be subjected to the rate of change of flux cutting by the stationary conductors called armature conductors. And armature is stationary in this case, the stationary armature, and a rotating magnetic field structure. Rotating magnetic field structure we preferred in this case. Let us look into the constructional features of the stator. The stator, we know about it. The stator is utilized to hold your armature windings. The stator is made up of cast steel or a um, laminated cast steel material, which we generally used for manufacturing the stator core, and the stator having a slots which can be used to hold your armature windings. The stator can be designed with a magnetic iron, otherwise the steel laminations we generally know. The stator can be designed with a magnetic iron, otherwise a steel alloys lamination to reduce eddy current losses. And we know about how we can effectively reduce the eddy current losses by properly laminating the core of a stator. Generally, in a synchronous generator, armature winding is stationary because of the immobile, simple immovable armature winding insulation at high voltage, which may be of 30 kV and above. The generated output voltage is directly from the motionless armature winding three terminals, whether it is a star or delta connected, it is directly connected to the loads. Field exciter winding can be arranged with a rotor on a rotor, as well as the low DC supply voltage is easily transmitted through the slip rings and brush arrangements. The armature winding can be braced well so as to prevent deformation caused by the high centrifugal forces. The rotor of synchronous generator, which is of generally two types: salient pole type rotors as well as the non-salient pole type rotors. silent pole type machines or projecting pole type machines. These are the very simple, and number of poles are more compared to the non-silent pole type. This type of construction is for the machines which are driven by hydraulic turbines or diesel engines, where the speed is very less compared to the thermal power stations. So the number of poles are more. So the we know the equation, the speed is equal to ns equal to 120 f by p, where number of poles are more, the very large number of poles, that means the speed of the generator is reduced. So the where the low speed turbine rotation is connected to the low speed turbines are connected to the alternator, like a hydraulic turbines where hydel power plants we can use, and diesel engines where the speed of the prime mover is very less. In that case, projecting type salient pole or projecting pole type alternator is generally preferred because of the low speed. In non-salient pole or cylindrical rotor or round rotor machines, and generally the number of poles are limited to either 2 or 4, so it is applicable for high speeds, wherein generally in a steam turbines, like where in a steam power plants, which is equal to ns equal to 120 f by p, number of poles are either 2 or 4, p equal to either 2 or 4. If it is a number of poles are 2, we know it is 120 f by p. The rated frequency is 50 hertz, and it is 2, it is around 3000 rpm. So it can be vary the speed, it can be the either it is rotating on a 3000 rpm or it can be rotating on a 1500 rpm. So the number of poles are limited to either one pair or two pairs. So this kind of rotors, synchronous generators, generally preferred in steam power plants. Now let us look into the working principle of synchronous generator. Generally, all of we know the basic fundamental law, which generally describes how the voltage or how the EMF is induced in a conductors. That is called Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. Whether it is an induction generator or a synchronous generator or a DC generator. So whatever the kind of generator, where the Faraday's laws will be the basic fundamental law which is used to describe how the voltage or how the EMF is induced in a conductor when it is under the magnetic field influence. The type of the magnetic field may be different. Sometimes in some kind of DC machines we may use constant magnetic field. In induction generators and the synchronous machines we go with the rotating magnetic field. So the type of the magnetic field is different, but ultimately the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, it has to be satisfied to generate the EMF in the conductors. So in the synchronous generators as well, the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction is a basic law which is used to describe how the voltage is generated in the armature winding of synchronous generator. So in this particular case, the field winding which is of excited by a DC supply which is on a rotor periphery. So the rotor is movable, it is connected to the prime mover. The rotor is rotating, so the constant magnetic field, it is rotating with the whatever the speed, the synchronous speed I am defining it as. It is rotating with the synchronous speed, and the armature winding which is of a stationary object, it is on the stator slots. When magnetic field is rotating, it is keep on changing, the magnetic field is rotating and the armature conductor is stationary. So according to the Faraday's laws, the generated induced EMF is directly proportional to rate of change of flux cut by the conductors, that is E is proportional to d phi by dt. So this induced EMF magnitude is equal to minus n into d phi by dt, that is Faraday's second law. The induced EMF is equal to minus n into d phi by dt. So first you have to induce an EMF, there must be a rate of change of flux cutting or flux linking with the conductor. That is why if both conductor as well as the magnetic field is stationary, there is no question of induced EMF. That is why either conductor has to rotate or else magnetic field has to rotate. Any one of the object, either field winding has to be rotate or the armature winding has to be rotate. Then only Faraday's losses will satisfy. Otherwise, there is no induced EMF in the conductors, even it is placed in a magnetic field without any rate of change of flux linkages. That is why the induced EMF in the generators are two types. One is a dynamically induced EMF, and the second one is statically induced EMF. Dynamically induced EMF as well as the statically induced. Based upon whether the conductor is rotating or magnetic field is rotating, we can classify the induced EMF by the generators are dynamically as well as the statically. If conductor is rotating, if armature winding is rotating, magnetic field is stationary, we can naming as the induced EMF by that kind of arrangement called a dynamically induced EMF. If conductor is stationary, armature winding is stationary, and magnetic field is rotating, that is comes into the statically induced EMF. So in this particular case, I am assuming the armature winding is stationary and magnetic field is rotating. So the induced EMF by the synchronous generator in this case is statically induced EMF, where the magnetic field is rotating with respect to the speed of the prime mover, and magnetic your stationary winding, armature winding is stationary. So there will be a much large relative motion among the armature conductors of the generator as well as the field winding or field of the generator, magnetic field of the generator. So there is a large relative motion between these two these two objects, that is a magnetic field as well as the armature winding. An EMF get induced in the armature conductors. That EMF, direction of the induced EMF in the conductor, we can easily find out by Fleming's laws. So in the synchronous generator, what we assumed it as, the generator magnetic field is rotating as well as the armature winding is stationary. So due to this direct flux cutting and a resultant induced EMF and a flow of current will be there in the armature conductors. For each winding, there will be a current flow in the first half cycle. After that, in a second half cycle, with a specific time lag of 120 degree. So it is a three-phase armature winding. So there are three set of windings which are of 120 degree displacement each other. R phase, Y phase, and B phase. All these are 120 degrees apart. Each of the winding is 120 degrees apart. So the induced EMF in each of the phase will be of lagging with another phase by 120 degrees. And this is all about the constructional features as well as the working principle of the synchronous generator. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.